been going. So guys, we're going to jump into our last replay of the day. Once again, this is Improvement, the show by ZvT Improve. This is episode number 1. I'm Wardí. It's a pleasure to be here. I hope you're having a good time. And we're going to jump into one last replay. So without further ado, in the top right hand corner we do have our red Terran player, xDey. And in the bottom left hand corner our blue Zero player, Mithos. Throwing out the heart. Nice man at the start of his game. He is the player who submitted it today. I nearly forgot it completely, so it's a good thing he came back and asked me where the fuck it was. It would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it, if he actually sent me an email, I actually replied to the email, and then was like, cool, that's all our replays, see you later guys. So yeah, it's a good thing I didn't do that. So, there was a couple of replays, didn't really get to, one like 46-minute long TVZ, maybe next time, for Forsaken XE, if you ever watch the VOD of this or something. I apologise, I couldn't fit it in. I've already gone 20 minutes over what I kind of expected to do, so amazed to have so many replays. And if you guys enjoyed it, please do follow the channel, follow the Twitter, follow the website to continue on, so to follow our future events, future shows, and so on. So before I was going to go actually for a drone scout here, so just playing nice and safely as we open up, and I should probably hide the timer. That's a little bit of a mistake. Because I just didn't have a music break. Usually like during the music break I'd like set it up, I'd pause it, shut down the timer, minimize it, everything's like nice and ready to go correctly. Not this time. So gas is coming down for xDey on 13, so a little bit of an interesting build. Maybe just go straight to reactor hellions instead of the more common nowadays build of just gas expand into reactor hellions. See what he wants to do with it. Mithos, despite drone scout, not going to be able to get into the base, because that supply depot grid went down in plenty of time. Cruel in the back of the main base, behind the mineral line, as we see the hatchery going up as a hatch first, which is pretty much standard, no reason not to go for that. The drone, you actually might be able to pick off this SCV here. I tried to, but it's probably going to be able to get away. The Marine's on the way, and once the Marine pops Mithos, just going to have to go back home, of course, with this drone. Drone running away still wants that SCV. He's finally going to give it up and go home, so no shame in that. And the SCV lives on 5 health. As we get up to 100 gas, it looks like it will be the factory, but it's not really exactly next to this barracks, so it's very possible this could. I'd be interested to see what exactly he's going to do with this. He's not started a second gas, but is he going to start a reactor on the racks and then float over from over here? Yes, he is. So maybe very well will just be reactor hellions, but a little bit weird to put the factory all the way over there. In terms of Mithos, of course, the player sent in the replay, he's just going gasless for now, so probably just going to go for that kind of fastish third base, or at least take his gases about the 6-minute-ish mark, could take one at 5:30, things like that, unless he wants to maybe go for some kind of a burst. So again, we'll see maybe what that's going to bring. Few links just down here on the map as Mithos just starts to move out. And finally xDey is going to get his own expansion up, and this is kind of why we don't see reactor hellion and expands anymore. This is why we usually see the, oh my god, that wasn't even holy shit, I sucked dick. How was that even, how did I ever think that was a factory? Wow, so that's why that's why the gas never actually really went down. I thought he had lower gas, so we're not actually seeing the factory at all. You're seeing me being an absolute tit. He's going for double reacted Marines into an expansion, so he'll have to put on a lot of pressure if there's forced a lot of units to make up for the later expansion, of course, that he's got. And we'll see just how effective it really is. However, I feel it's a weak to a lot of things. In this game, he's going to be okay, because then gases are only just going down now for Mithos, so speed's not really an option right now. Whereas in a lot of games, if your opponent opens with gas, the Zerg player is going to have speed. He'll be able to surround any Marines, and any kind of pressure is just going to be shut down pretty much immediately. So xDey just taking the map control right now. Mithos with 2 queens feeling pretty damn confident. I don't really blame him. From what he's seeing, he can't really actually tell what it is at all, but he's seen an expansion, so not too much to worry about. Maybe work on getting an overlord to this side of the main base, so he can go in for a scout whenever you really see fit, because this overlord's not really going to be able to go scout in the main, so a lot of Marines are seeing those, so Mithos, if he picks up on this on the overlord at the front, can think, well, that's a lot more Marines than usual. There's no Hellions. It's just heavy Marine. So let's get Bane nest up, let's get our speed going. and we'll pretty much deal with this pretty easily as the lair starts up for Mithos straight away. Going to want to get that speed up pretty much soon after. Heavy marine push now coming up. A lot of Lings actually looks like they're going to try to take the tower here. But xDey kind of realizes that. Our ZvT does see this though, Mithos realizes this, but he's going to lose a lot of Lings initially. He's going to be forced to make 18 more Lings than xDey. If he just goes back home now, he's going to be in a sick position, done a lot of damage, forced a lot of Lings, and he doesn't really need to do anything else. So if he just goes back home now, he'd be absolutely fine, and these Lings are even going to get caught off over here. Creep Tumor killed as well, and all them Lings will actually die. And xDey might get a little bit too greedy here. He might run up the ramp, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So he's going to try to get an overlord, and slow Lings are going to come in. They're not going to be the best in terms of trading against this, and this is actually a really nice build for our Terran player in terms of punishing a Zerg who opens gases here. The Queens, are they going to be able to do enough damage? The Spine is a little bit late, and again, if Mithos had recognised maybe that there's a heavy amount of Marines coming out, maybe the Spine could have been up a lot earlier. But with the transfuses from the Queens, there's actually going to be enough to hold on here, and xDey will have to go back home, and Mithos will hold. So the Spine going to finish. Cost him a lot of lava though. If you look at the units tab, we do see 39 drones to 30 SCVs though, and of course that's pretty much because that expansion came down a lot later than usual. Third base on the way though. But in general, for Mithos, I think pretty much well played, really, not too shabby. I mean, this kind of push is going to do this kind of damage because, of course, it was a little bit more aggressive. It wasn't the fastest of expands, so he's only taken enough damage that he can really afford to take, which is completely fine. And even though these Lings get taken out, Mithos should just pull back. Nice transfuse right at the end there. Pulls back to the Spine Core, he should be fine. Might lose an overlord, just a little bit sloppy. Needs to be careful for that Queen. Actually gets another Marine because of the Terran just going for the Queen. So Spine Core are going to be rerouted, and that's going to be perfect. It's going to allow Mithos now to actually fight a bit closer to his ramp. Spire's on the way, that third base is coming down as well. And the wall coming up for our Terran player back at home. He's taking his third gas, he's got his factory up, he's got his starport already producing medevacs. But also with this, you've got to remember, this guy, he didn't get a tech lab on them Raxes for a long time, so even if he did a lot more damage, he'd still be in a bit of a funny position. Because he's got no stim, he's got no real tech on, to be honest. Medevacs are great, but like if you've still got no stim, your units are going to still be pretty weak. No stim, no combat shields, and if he only goes on one tech lap here, they're not going to be finished until, like, stim's not going to be ready till 14 minutes in the game, so there's going to be no aggression at all coming out of our Terran player, really. He's got an engineering bay he's not using. He needs to get double engineering bay really rolling pretty soon. At the same time as Zerg play, he went for meters pretty fast, and so he's not got Evo chambers either, so maybe look at trying to incorporate them Evo chambers a little bit faster. But of course, Meterling Bling does fall behind on the upgrades quite often. It's not the first thing you obviously go for. Terran player moving out the map, very brave. Once the Banelings come down, Baneling finishes up. Basically, Mithos is going to be in a fantastic position because the slow Marines are going to be moving out more frequently, it seems, and with Banelings, he's just going to be able to clean that up so nicely. He's going to be able to surround. However, there is enough space in the medevacs to lift the majority of these Marines up and to safety if necessary. So xDey not in too much trouble. He's forcing a lot of units and a lot of gas to be spent on Banelings, which isn't what Mithos wants to spend his gas on right now. He wants to spend his gas on Mutas, because Mutas are good. Banelings are good too, but if you want to get your Muta tech out, you obviously want to get your Muta tech out, and it looks like Mithos might be moving down the ramp. He's going to move out with the Banelings, and if the Templar is not paying attention, which he isn't, he's using a lot of them Marines, man. And in fact, he lost all but 4, which is pretty much 16 Marines, in fact, because I actually counted. Because, yeah. But now the Mutas are actually going to start chasing these medevacs, and that's actually a really bad position for our Terran player. Going to lose 1 full medevac, so a nice medevac choice there for Mithos. And Mithos going to be able to run up the ramp here, and really there's nothing here for our Terran player. If Mithos just busts through the front, he should be perfectly fine, and that might very well be what he's doing. He's going to run in here into the bunker, and that's going to create an opening for these Lings to come straight on in. Oh, but he decides to disengage. I'm not too sure. I feel like he maybe could have done a bit more damage, but nonetheless, he's could go over to the third base. That's something Mithos has forgot to check here. So running over to the third, just with a single Ling, like it only takes 1 Ling to check over there, and it could have completely changed this game. He could have pretty much said, like, if he didn't bust down there and he knew the third was there, he could run Blings over there, that's all them SCVs pretty much instantly gone. Maybe even baits the Terran out of his wall with his army. So again, just checking for that third base with a Ling. Even putting it there earlier in the game is very, very important. So xDey doing nice little pokes forward, knowing he can lift in medevacs and get mostly away and probably drop out again before Mithos come in to kill his medevacs. So clearing towers, I like that. Now Mithos doing some nice harassment here, going to pick off the tower. The Marines actually misclicked in a bit of a bad position, and the medevacs almost going down, but actually now these Marines are going to be able to pick up a lot of these Mithos, so Mithos dipped into a little bit of a trap there. So nice play from xDey in the end, and if Mithos had maybe identified that, it's quite hard to identify, so maybe just constantly retaking this tower. Like, if you can retake this tower again and again and again, things like that don't catch you off guard. So a little bit more map control. Of course it's hard to send a link to the tower every single time you use it, so it's not the easiest of situations. A little bit of an interesting supply depot wall there. Add a couple of depots here, it'd be nice. Again, I mentioned that earlier in today's cast. Mithos doesn't have that many Banons right now, so living a little bit on the edge, considering his opponent's playing very heavy kind of Marine style. Finally, again, his opponent's getting tanks up, and again, against Meteor Bling Ling, he needs a second factory really, really badly to get them heavy tanks out, and he knows it's Meteor Bling Ling by now, so the Templars should be trying to get them tanks out a lot faster. In terms of upgrades, the upgrades were pretty damn slow for Terran, they were pretty damn slow for Zerg too, so again, them Evo chambers need to try and come up a lot sooner. I mean, if you sacrifice, like, I know that there's a lot of pressure at the beginning of this game, but sacrifice what, like 8 lings and 8 lings and like 2 meters, and you've got like double upgrades so much sooner. So Mithos looks like he's going to engage here. He's going to come in, and how much he's going to pick off. He needs to be careful. He doesn't want to expose them Banons on the tank. And the Zerg player going to chase the Terran all the way into his natural here. Is the depot going to go off? No, it's not. The Banons continue to stream in, and they will finally connect against the Marines. The Ling is going to be able to stream in now and clean up the rest of the tanks. But heavy Marine force just lying in wait for Mithos, running down the natural. But Mithos going to easily just run over to the third base with the Muters, not actually able to accomplish that much there. And Mithos just a little bit of an overcommitment there. Looked good, like streaming in at the opponent with Banons and everything, but you know, the tank sieged, he was running through choke points, and that's where Terran really kind of optimizes playing a Marine tank, when your opponent runs into choke points. So 4th base on the way now for xDey. Still single factory, which is pretty bad. Back at home for the Zerg, we can see that macro hatch coming up. Still no infestation pit tech, but teching up to that 2-2, which is nice to see. That's really, really important, of course, as meters look like they're about to come into the natural here, and the turret never got rebuilt. So immediately, nice harassment there, picking off an SCV or 2, picking off the turret, delaying that supply depot. And next, also forces Stim just depleting that medevac energy slowly but surely. Needs to be careful though, because right now that Stim could pick off another mutant, but again, over-stimming here from xDey doesn't need to stim his whole army. Maybe a handful of units, sure. Maybe try catch some meters, but right now he's just wasting his medevac energy, which is something that was really going for him throughout the game. 7 medevacs is a fair few medevacs, and right now he scans ahead, which is a good thing. Finally, Zerg scanning ahead and actually seeing what he's up against, and sees that he can actually stim in here and maybe take down the army, which is exactly what he's going to do. Oh, not the army, the hatchery, and he will be able to do that. He's actually, because he knows where his opponent's army coming from, he's going to be able to free split here as well and do a lot of damage, and a lot of Marines do remain, and they're going to be able to either trade with the meters or take out the third hatch, which is exactly how that 4th base has been going up a long time. Again, same with the 3rd base, get lings over there, be able to scout that a lot sooner, and just generally put your lings over there so that you can see when it's building. The guy actually built that over there, which means that command center build for however long the CC build time is, like 100 seconds or so. 100 seconds, where you could have just ran 2 lings over there and denied it. So, or even the Muta is just going to cancel the 4th base, so the 4th base is going to go up now for the Terran player, when it really should have been able to be denied for a lot longer. Again, the upgrade's not the best for the Evo players right now. 2-1 is out for the Terran, 2-1 about to finish up for the Pros, who's going to pick off a few more SCVs. More SCVs coming in here, Stim's coming over to the left hand side of the map. Mithos has such a huge bank right now, which is something I've neglected to kind of pay attention to right now. Needs to throw down the infestation pit, start the pathogen upgrades. I mean, if you started the pathogen upgrades the infestation pit about 2 minutes ago, you could have like 10 infestors coming out in a minute or so. Like, yeah, like, you could have had infestors on the way a long time ago and still playing with heavy Ling army. when your opponent's just got so many Marines, it's gonna just decimate Ling Muta. Like, this is kind of like why Zerg's kind of started going for more Banelings even when they used Infestors, because Lings, if your opponent you do so much as just split, Marines just absolutely decimate everything. So Mithos actually throws out the GG from a game where he was really far ahead. Again, look at this bank, imagine that in just kind of hatcheries over here. Your opponent, I mean, you'll say in the chat, now that I watched this I had too much focus on the right side of your map. So did your opponent. Your opponent always came over here. Did you see your opponent ever walk over here? Did you see your opponent ever walk over here? The map is undiscovered over here. You could have had like a 4th base up here, you could have had a 4th base up here. Like, if you really cheat, you could have had a 4th base up here. And that's like the extra income that you probably needed with these drones that aren't mining. Not that you're spending the money, but that's the extra gas as well. It allows you to transition to Infestors a lot more quickly and so on. So a few other commitments in terms of engagements. Upgrades could have been a lot better. And again, just you really need the Banelings if you're going to play a Ling Bling Muta, because otherwise heavy Marines will just absolutely rip you to shreds. And this guy, he neglected tanks. He had a single factory all game long, and people who go for single factory should not really win against Ling Bling Muta because they just don't have the tanks to target fire down the Banelings. So really, there's a little bit of a win game, but again, there's no shame in that. We all fuck up games sometimes. I mean, you didn't really fuck up, you just you were just a bit unfortunate that you didn't throw the Ling over there. You didn't kind of get rid of the 4th base. You let the Terran go his 4th base up, and really the Terran played pretty greedy. Like, again, if you morphed in Banelings, the Terran can't do what he did over here. He can't run in here. Like, there's a point where, yeah, sure, he came in and engaged with Banelings over here, but he had like 7 Marines left. So again, if you just had another lava inject, them 7 Marines is the difference between another round of Lings. So that's not as huge of a fight as this one here, where he had an absolute shit ton of Marines left. So I hope that helped you out. Again, the VODs will be up on YouTube for all of the games today. So thank you very much for watching. This has been the first ever episode of Improvement by SC2 Improve. I hope you've enjoyed it.